Hey, everybody. It's Sam Bennett from therealsambennett.com. I want to make sure all my bits and pieces are happening. Go live on Instagram, live on TikTok. Hi, TikTok. Hi, everybody. It's Sam Bennett from therealsambennett.com. We have just a little bit before the top of the hour, and you know I like to start exactly on time. So we're going to give this just a second. I'll just adjust my camera one more time. And let's start with our breathing. Let's start centering in. If we're going to talk about non-vacations, how do we make today a little bit more relaxing, a little bit more restful, a little bit more inspiring, a little bit lighter, a little bit less, heavy, right? So a good way to do that is to start with our breathing. So you know how I like to do it. We're going to inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. I'll count us through it. It'll be easy. You want to ignore it? Ignore it. No big deal. But most people find it to be very pleasant. So yeah, let your belly just go really poochy soft, like right? Let your jaw go soft. Hi, cat. Let your hands go soft. Maybe lift your face up towards the sun so the sun can find you, so that love can find you. You ready? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that felt so good. And it brings me to my first point, which is, in a world in which everybody is always like, you got to de-stress and how to take a break and how to relax. And, we just so often don't, we just go from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. And, and then we're up late, like doom scrolling or watching TV for YouTube videos for no reason. And we sort of trick ourselves into feeling like, oh yeah, that's restful. That's me recovering. That's my recuperation time. It's not. I don't mind zone out time. I'm a big fan of zoning out myself. And even things like under the covers reading the romance novel or the historical novel or the whatever it is you like to read. It's relaxing in that it is a little numbing. It's relaxing in that it allows you to dissociate a little bit, right? So you're not so much thinking. You're just like absorbing. But it is not, in fact, energizing. And that is what I really want to talk about, right? We know that you can tell that you're in a loving relationship because you feel loved. And you can tell that you are on vacation because you feel rested. So if you're taking breaks or you're on vacation with your family or you're, going off for the weekend to do one thing or another, and you don't feel rested, you don't feel excited when you think about it. It's not giving that pre-anticipation vibe, which is a big part of going on vacation, and you're not rested while you're on it, then it's not a vacation. It might still be important. It might still be something you want to do, but let's be clear, it is not a restorative time for you. And that's really what vacation is all about, right? It's about taking you out of your normal routine and putting you into a new environment, allowing you to explore new parts of yourself, maybe taking away some of the day-to-day drudgery, like you're at a hotel, you don't have to make the bed. They're always like, do you want, you can get 25 extra Hilton points if you don't get the housekeeping. I'm like, the entire point of me being here is the housekeeping. Thank you very much. Like, the whole reason I'm here is so that I don't have to make the bed in the morning. Thank you. So what is it? So this is a little point of inquiry, right? What is it that makes a vacation for you? What do you need? What are the non-negotiables you need in order to get out of your regular routine, experience yourself in a new way, and recharge, restore, refresh, revise, revisit, reimagine your own self. And again, that whole like, well, we go to the family cabin every weekend. That's not vacation. Not if you're the parent. It's not, right? So it might still be fun. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, let's be clear, that's not a vacation, right? So I'm curious to hear what from you. Hey, Heather. Hi, Robert. How's it going? What from you makes it a vacation? What from you makes it, for you, makes it a break? And how can we fold that in to maybe your everyday, right? So how can we take this little, like, oh, one of the things I love about being on vacation is, that somebody brings me coffee in the morning. Oh, well, that's not impossible to arrange, is it? That maybe somebody in your house could bring you coffee in the morning. Or if you live alone, you could get one of those coffee makers that you set up the night before, so then it's just ready for you. Or maybe you feel like, oh, I love being on vacation because I love to be outside. Well, could you fold in a little outside time into your regular time? Could you make it a habit of eating lunch outside or going for a walk in the middle of the day? Instead of taking a coffee break, you can, go for a little walk around the building. What is it? Is it time with friends? What is the thing that really lights you up when you are legitimately having a break and a vacation? And what is it that doesn't? And I know there's a lot of you who are not with us, who are on vacation right now and want to, we'll be watching this later or watching the replay. But go ahead and write it down for yourself. And even if you want to make a little doodle, I love to make the 90-second doodles of like, what does it look like to not be on vacation? What are you experiencing now that feels oppressive, scrunchy, like I've got to watch every penny? What do I call it? Like stingy with yourself, stingy with your own resources. John says it's about breaking the daily habits that do not serve me anymore. Right. Again, a fantastic daily inquiry, right? What am I doing that's kind of on autopilot that maybe isn't giving me the results that I want, that isn't, lighting me up, that isn't moving me forward? Heather said just generally adulting makes her feel like that. Yeah, I get it. And again, you can farm out the adulting. There's a lot of things that you're doing day to day that you don't have to do. And I know you think like, oh, I can't afford a housekeeper. I can't afford someone to run my errands for me. I can't afford, what's the name of it? TaskRabbit, right? Hiring somebody to go pick up the dry cleaning or run to the grocery, Instacart, all these, functions that if you are in anything more than a completely rural environment, you probably have access to. You think, well, I can't afford it. Yeah, but how much is it costing you to do it? And I learned this from having, long haul COVID for the last 2 years. Peace out to my brothers and sisters who are living with long-term invisible illnesses for which there is as yet no cure. Like I can go to the grocery store, but that's it for the day. Like it exhausts me completely. So the choice I make is it more worth it to me to pay a little extra to have Instacart get my groceries for me, or to impose on someone like my sister or a friend or somebody else to say, hey, could you do this for me? Then it is for me to do it myself and get completely worn out. So where's the cost benefit analysis there, right? It's not just about the money. It's about how you're feeling. So where is it for you, right? Lori's here. She says, good morning. Hi, Lori. Great to see you. And what are the joys for you of going on retreat? Amy and I are still filling out our, we've got a couple of chaise lounges left for Barefoot Perfect, which is our retreat in, here we go. Which is our retreat in Mallorca this year. It's for women at midlife and beyond. It's the point at which, you know, we're not kids anymore, and we're not really sure what's next, right? Hi, Sergeant. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Elvis. What is the next chapter of your life going to look like? What do you want the next chapter of your life to look like? And sometimes that can be hard to discern while you are still in the day-to-day of your actual life. So, Amy and I figured out this Barefoot Perfect retreat thing. 2 years in a row, we did it in Belize, which was glorious. I love Belize. Last year, we went to Crete, which was also amazing. And this year, we're going to Mallorca, which is one of the islands off the eastern coast of Spain. You might know its sister island, Ibiza. Ibiza, but we say Ibiza. Ibiza. So, and the reason we do this way, and so as I'm talking about what happens in Barefoot Perfect, I want you to start making notes about, like, what could I be doing? You know, what little clues could I pick from this? What little nuggets of gold could I go, you know what? I may not be able to go to Mallorca, but I can do that. I may not be able to, you know, have a full-time butler, but I could do that, right? So I want you to find the things in your day-to-day that make you feel rested, that make you feel recharged, that makes you feel like you're loving life. Heather says, what? We're not kids anymore. I know, even though we still feel like kids sometimes, but we're not. We're the old people now. So a couple of things we do for Barefoot Perfect. We have it's a 6-month coaching program. So we've got 3 months of sessions ahead of time to sort of get revved up, let everybody get to know each other. And there's all kinds of studies that show that one of the major benefits of going on vacation is the anticipation of going on vacation, right? The planning, Gunner's here. My father's name was Gunner. Hi. The planning, the packing, the imagining, the researching. Oh, should we go to this restaurant or that one? Oh, look, I found this place, or I want to make sure we go here. Like, all that anticipatory enjoyment is a huge part of what makes vacations, what makes a retreat fun. So are you giving yourself enough planning time? Are you enjoying the anticipation rather than feeling like, oh, I've got to research where we can go for dinner on Thursday? Like, could that be pleasurable for you? And then we go to the Mediterranean for a week, and we get everybody rooms on the VIP level. So we have our own pool, we have our own bar, we have, it's a little exclusive, it's a little fancy. And I find that paying for those kinds of upgrades on a vacation, when you can, obviously, if you're on the rice and beans tour, then you're not going to. Nothing against rice and beans. I love rice and beans. And I've certainly done super cheap trips that were the best ever. So I'm not saying you have to spend a lot of money. However, when you are confronted with the opportunity to spend a little bit more, it can really be worth it. Like, I was so disdainful about flying first class. I was like, first class, that's really what I thought of it as. Like, really? Who's so fancy that they have to sit in the front of the plane instead of the middle of the plane? Like, we're all going to the same place. We're all getting the same thing. Like, why would you pay $1 grillion more for first class? And then I started flying first class. And you know what? It's way better. It's partly way better because, again, because I have long haul, things like standing up for a long time, standing in line for a long time, I can't do it. I just can't do it. So being able to board early, have a seat with a little more room to it, get some beverage service early, like, all that can really make a difference to me. And especially now that they stopped, like, serving food and things on airplanes, by the time you factor in the cost of the checked luggage, the cost of the sandwich, the cost of the cocktail, because I'm definitely having a cocktail, the cost of this, that, and the other thing, it's honestly not that much more expensive to do first class. When I do the math, you make your own decisions. So what are the things that the add-ons that really make it extra special for you, right? And again, what are things you can be doing in your day-to-day life that feel like those kind of luxurious little add-ons, that can give you a little sense of like, oh, special. Oh, nice. Oh, that's a treat. Oh, that's a, and not like I'm desperate for a treat, therefore I must have a candy bar, right? I'm not talking about craving related treats. We could talk about that another time. I'm really talking about what are the restorative things you can say or do or feel or pay for or enact in your day-to-day life, at your job, at your home, over your own weekends, that just feel a little more delicious. Because that's really what I want, is for the things that have you feeling more deliciousness in your life. And especially for those of you who are highly creative people, because it's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about creative work is that it actually gives you energy. Most work we do, when we do it, it depletes our energy. And that's okay. You're tired at the end of the day, no matter what, right? But when you are working in your zone of creative genius, and notice I don't say artistic genius. I'm not talking about being an artist. I'm talking about being creative. So that's problem solving, that's learning, that's playing, that's games, that's research, that's teaching your lizard to do backflips, like whatever it is that really lights you up, where you're like, oh, I get to do that today. Make sure you're doing that at least 15 minutes a day, right? You might know I wrote a book, bestseller, 15-minute method, Sam Bennett. And now I wish I titled it The Subversively Simple Art of Getting It Done. Because I got to tell you, spending 15 minutes a day on something that adores you, on something that lights you up, that makes you feel great, is subversive. It's subversive in its simplicity, and it's subversive in its power to transform your whole day. So go ahead and tell me, write down, if you don't want to tell me, that's fine. You can put it in the chat, or you can write it down just for yourself. What is something that you could do for 15 minutes that nourishes you, that makes you feel like you've had a little rest, that makes you look back and go, oh, that was cool. I'm glad I did that. Lori says, writing gives me energy. Right. Exactly. So set the timer for 15 minutes and, fill out an index card. Write one page. Write 200, 250 words. You write every day for 15 minutes. So you can write about 200, 250 words in 15 minutes. If you don't edit yourself too much. In somewhere between 200 and 400 days, that's 50,000 words. That's a book. Right? So we don't need to have the 3 months in Provence, to write the book. We're just putting in the little steps so that we're not waiting for our life. We're not waiting for joy. And let me remind you that deferment is no. So this idea you have in your head of like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it some other time. I'll do it when the kids are out of the house. I'll do it when we have the money. I'll do it when I lose 20 pounds. I'll do it when XYZ. That's a way of telling yourself no. So just be honest with yourself about that. Because there is no other time than now. Right? Leslie says, making it to this. Yay! I am happy to be your Thursday vacation time. I love that. That makes me very happy. Thank you, Leslie. John says, well, it might seem tough. Embracing the mindset that we can bounce back with boundless energy is both restorative and a bit hilarious. Yeah, it's shocking how much a quick 15-minute jolt of walking, breathing, stretching, singing, dancing, ukulele playing, time with animals, whatever it is that you love to do, it's amazing how much what that 15 minutes can do for you. And again, we're looking for points of leverage, right? So many things we do in our lives, we put out a ton and we get back very little. I want you to spend at least 15 minutes a day on something in which you can put out very little, but get back a ton. So 15 minutes of connecting with people you love, 15 minutes of getting your finances in order, 15 minutes of meal planning, 15 minutes of, like I said, deep breathing, going into the garden, getting some sunshine. Where can we have it so it's not our life drudgery, 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 drudgery. Oh, vacation, vacation, vacation. And then it's over and we're back to drudgery. How can we keep that vacation vibe, by which I mean restorative, hopeful, restful, and giving you a new experience of yourself, right? That's the great thing about being on vacation is, oh, I'm not necessarily me. It's one of the things we do on Barefoot Perfect. Every one of these retreats, we have a desert island day. So we take these women at midlife and beyond who are wondering what the next chapter of their life is going to be. That's what we work on. We take them to a desert island or a deserted beach, and we say, okay, go sit somewhere where you will not see anybody else, where you can't see anybody else. And first of all, just sit there, right? Just take it in. Take in the breeze, take in the ocean, take in the smell of the salt water in the air. And what do the waves have to say to you? What does the sand have to say to you? What do the trees have to say to you? And then, who is this person? Who is this person on this beach? Who are you when literally no one knows where you are? Who are you when you are not anybody's mom, friend, sister, colleague, boss? No one is calling you. No one needs you. No one knows where you are. Who is that person? And what do they want for the rest of their days? Or at least for this next chapter? What do they want this next chapter to feel like? What do you want your next chapter to feel like? Who do you want to be as you move into this next chapter of your life? And taking the time to get intentional about that and to get witnessed in that. And then to make a plan for how to actually do that. And then get some support for the plan. This is how Barefoot Perfect works. And again, you don't have to come on the retreat to apply this for yourself. We've got the 3 sessions of getting to know each other, anticipation, a week in the Mediterranean, to dream, to implement, to process, to be together, to have fun. And then 3 months of reentry, 3 months of post-trip coaching and support, because, you need a plan. We all know how it is, when you're far away and you're not at home, you're like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to do this and do that, and do this other thing. And then you get home and you're like, oh, that's right. My life is here. This is my life. Right. And we get oppressed by habit. We get oppressed by things and other people, and we don't make those changes. So you need, again, to be witnessed. You need other people around you. You need people who are going to encourage you and remind you to say, hey, remember you committed to this. Remember, we're working on this to be the next chapter. And we're not going to let ourselves get dragged back down into routine. We're going to keep breaking that routine to find new sources of joy, new sources of energy, new sources of inspiration. John says, my dream, being on a desert island with only beautiful women who are discovering themselves. It is pretty extraordinary, John, I have to say. If you were a woman, I would totally invite you onto this. And it's a beautiful experience to be with these women as they have these breakthroughs. It's pretty exciting. So if this is speaking to you on any level, please go to barefootperfect.com, www.barefootperfect.com, all one word. And you can just see the pictures and see the copy and see what's happening. And then if you're really inspired, you could go ahead and fill out the application, which is totally no obligation. There's a little space to check. If you're like, no, I'm just dreaming, I can't really come, I'm just dreaming. That's fine, because the application actually asks you some questions that you might find kind of inspiring. That might be a good way to have a little 15-minute break for yourself today. Oh, good. Lucy put it up in the chat too, barefootperfect.com. Good. Anything else I can say or share with you that's going to inspire you a little bit to fold some of that vacation vibe in so that you do not get to the end of the summer and feel like, great, another summer went by and everybody else got to have fun except me, right? Because the martyrdom thing is not working. It's not fun. It's not fun for you. It's not fun for anybody else. So how can you enrich and restore yourself? How can you make something fun for yourself? Can you turn your morning orange juice into a little blender drink? Put an umbrella in it. Can you dress up a little bit? Can you treat yourself a little bit? Can you give yourself something to look forward to? in a way that, again, doesn't feel like numbing out, doesn't feel like, oh, you know, uh, I have to do this or I'm grabbing it this time, but just feels expansive. I hear all the time people say, like, oh, can you really change your life in 15 minutes a day? And I want to say, of course. Your whole life is already being lived out in 15-minute increments, right? How do you stay married? 15 minutes at a time. How do you take care of your health? 15 minutes at a time. How do you keep the house clean? 15 minutes at a time, right? How do you write a book? 15 minutes at a time. So where can you get a little more intentional about where some of those 15 minutes are going so that you can have a life that you don't even want to have a vacation from? You feel like, why would I leave this? My day-to-day is so great, right? So that's my wish for you. Like I said, if you're feeling it, hop over to www.barefootperfect.com and fill out that application, because we've only got a couple of chaise lounges left, people. And it's not, there's no obligation. Like I said, if you're taking it seriously and you really do want to come, then we'll have a conversation about it, because it's a curated group. We don't let anybody just buy a ticket. You have to talk to me or to Amy to join. And if you're not going to do that, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do to light you up? June says, watching clouds. Yeah, just a little cloud gazing. Bring you back to center, light you up. Great. Good. Anything anybody else wants to say or share before we wrap this up today? I'm so glad you were here. I'm so glad you were here. I really appreciate it that you take this time to be with me. And again, let's crack it open a little. Crack it open like a coconut. Like what's stuck for you that we can just unstick? Where do you feel deprived and tired and beaten up? Where we can have you feel inspired and cherished? And remember, these aren't feelings that other people give you. They're feelings that you give you. Are you appreciating and cherishing yourself in a real way, in a way that sends the message to your inner self, I value you. I love you. Your work is important. Who you are is important. We want you at your best, not because it's a race or because you're getting graded, but because when you're at your best, you give more to others. We're selfish like that. We want all of you. We want the best of you. So see if you can take 15 minutes a day to just restore yourself a little bit. Should we do one more round of breathing to close out this little vacation circle? Yeah? You ready? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you. Thank you for doing this with me. See you on vacation.